All right, we're back. And this time, we've got a name for the playlist feature that we got on the channel. And we're going to be calling this New Releases. And the idea is that we're going to get artists to come in here and they're going to talk about their new releases. If they're doing albums, it's only going to be 2 or 3 tracks they'll talk about. But the idea is obviously to let artists come in and tell their stories through their music. Okay, so today we have another artist, and I'm going to let him introduce himself to you. Do you want to take it away?
Yeah, I go by the name of Benji Baker, formerly known as Joe Gutter years and years and years ago. Freshly back doing music, enjoying it, just, yeah, loving life.
We don't want to go too deep into your history, but a little bit of background would be really good. So I know your name originally from many years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know the history. Give us a little bit of background.
Okay, so yeah, I've started rapping when I was 15, so that's 22 years ago now. Just a little home studio set up that went on to link in with another artist called Regimental. We worked together for a long time, put albums out, mixtapes. I was part of a group called Unfriendly Neighbours, with a producer called Second Suspect and another rapper called Bigger Man. We went all around the West Midlands supporting Example, had gigs with Kano, Dizzy Rascal, all artists like that. Working on my solo stuff, I featured on Mike Skinner's mixtape, The Streets mixtape, on a track with him. Previously, I've done tracks with Rag and Bone Man. But yeah, just took 10 years out, came back, and like I say, just enjoying producing music, just trying to get it out there again under a new name.
Why did you take the 10 years out?
At that point, I just started making films. I started making music videos for other artists, things like that. And that was paying the bills. So it was kind of, let's do that. But what I found out after a short while was that writing was a release. That writing was getting me out of situations like mentally that I needed to release those emotions, even if like whatever track it was just getting it out there. So through lockdown, with nothing much, with no release musically, being in the house all the time, I got sent a mic, I got sent a little mixer and said, right, do that. And I appreciated that. That was from a good friend, and just started making music again, and it's helped.
Okay, so you're one of the lucky few who's managed to find a good balance.
Yeah.
So you get the bills paid, but you enjoy the music.
Exactly that. And I think I'm at an age now where they say it's a young man's game, but I'm enjoying what I do. If 100 people listen, it is what it is.
Let me add to that. You're enjoying what you do, and I heard you do the one take, and we enjoyed what you do too.
I appreciate that.
So
I appreciate that.
We want to obviously talk about your album that you got out. Is it an album first of all?
I really don't know what it is. It's a collection of tracks. I think classically some people would call it an album. It's all original production. I think, to be honest, I'm too scared to call it an album. I'm calling it a mixtape right now. But like I say, classically people would call it an album. I've worked with a producer called Scissors. He's produced the whole album. I'm calling it an album now, so we might as well go with an album. It's going to be part of a three volume series. It's called Baker's Dozen. So Baker's Dozen is 13. There's 13 tracks on there. Just a nice little a little piece for people to catch on to when they do catch it. But yeah, it is an album, but we're calling it a mixtape.
Why the confusion?
I don't know. It's just kind of like, I think saying that something's an album is kind of like, the creme de la creme.
So it's putting some kind of pressure on you.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're doing this for the fun. You're getting your bills paid, so there is no pressure.
There is no pressure,
So call
but
it
there's
now or it'll be
always
done.
this internal feeling. I'm my own harshest critic, and things are never done. People have to tell me, leave it at that, because you'll never move on to the next thing. And I think that's with a lot of creative people. A lot of people with those creative minds often think this could be better, or this could change. But it gets to a point where does that stop? So these tracks that are on the album, lyrics have been written for these 10 years, 12 years ago. When I wasn't rapping, I was still I'd still think of something, put it in a phone. So the lyrics that are on these albums, some of them are 12 years old. And some of these tracks are 5 years old when they've actually been recorded, like I say, through lockdown. They're 5 years old. So it's new music, but it's not at the same time.
All right, so you got Scissors on the production.
Mm-hmm.
How far have you gone? Have you gone to the point of doing cover artwork and put it out there properly? Is everything done? Are you getting your social media and everything prepared?
We have cover artwork, front and back. I don't know why we've done back, because it's probably not going to be released in a physical format. But again, that was just something that I wanted to do.
Do you think that's a good move, or do you think it's in some ways a hindrance? The fact that you're
in terms of not releasing a physical copy?
In terms of when you got digital, there is so much competition out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much content out there that yours is probably, I don't want to say this like to make it sound bad, but it could get slept on or
100%.
not even noticed.
100%, and I think that's like going back when we used to do mixtapes at shows. We'd sell them for £2, just quickly print off a cover, put it in a sleeve, burn the disc, sell it for £2. We'd make £300 a night. Now you're stuck in a position where you've got to be able to work social media as well. I've come back into this thinking you've got to have a whole other arm to your game to be able to come on social media and interact with people. You can't just do the thing that you're doing. You have to have that marketing behind it that you have to do yourself. So that's a new skill that I'm learning.
We said we were going to get you to talk about 3 tracks. Mm-hmm. So what's your first track that you want to pick to discuss?
I think it's the single, Horns and Halos. So that came out on November the 1st. That was the single for the project. And that was kind of like, the song started off being called Forgiveness. And it was speaking about, it was basically speaking to the people in my life that I needed forgiveness from, mainly my wife. But it's kind of like redemption. It's asking for forgiveness. It is literally just that. It's situations that I've been in, situations that I should have thought about a little bit more, and the complications that's then caused to other people. It then became Horns and Halos when I got the feature artist on there, who's called Too Raw For You from Derby. He did the chorus. I had the verses already, sent it to him, explained the concept of the track, and he absolutely smashed it with the chorus. And that's why it had to be the single, because when you hear that, it's just, for me, you can hear that on radio. You can hear that on radio. It's not commercial radio, but that was the one there. And I think people can relate to the things that I'm talking about in there, regardless of if it's the same situation. I know people can relate to that.
I've heard the track, and I hear the sounds of redemption in there fully. And when I was listening to it, what I was thinking is, here's a guy that's basically accepted that he's made a lot of mistakes and that he's now trying to correct his ways. Mm-hmm. And, to me, that's a powerful message in many ways. Mainly the fact that, we live in a time where a lot of people don't accept responsibility for their actions. And you've done that.
Of course, like the majority of the album is along the same lines. It's like the way that I feel about music is, if it's not real, I don't want it. And when I say real, I'm not talking about violence. I'm not talking about what area you're from or whatever else. As long as it's real to that person and what they're talking about, then to me, how can anyone dismiss it? And that's the kind of vibe that I went for on the album. It's a lot of it is very heartfelt. It is. I've opened up on there maybe a little bit too much. I've been told. I've been told it's a little.
I think it's great.
Too serious. Is
great.
one of the criticisms that I had, but it's yeah. I just, like I say, it's 12 years of situations that I've been through, and then they've come out within that.
What's your second track?
The second track is a song called "My Son Thinks I'm the GOAT." So obviously that's a term that gets thrown about a lot nowadays. But yeah, that's more of a light-hearted track. It's more just taking it to bars. It's just bars. But yeah, it's a bit of a strange one sitting on the album. But I thought it needed
strange. What I was listening to was Levels.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, strange in terms of maybe it switches it up a little bit from the rest of the album in terms of being quite serious. But that one is kind of more punchlines. Going back to how probably that I used to rap, but on there. But yeah, it's just my sons love my music, and I'm more than grateful for that. Like if they thought, oh Dad, come on, leave it alone now. But I can be in the living room, and you'll be hearing music thumping upstairs on a playlist, and I'm thinking, oh, what's that? And then the next song comes on, and it's me, and I'll be sat there thinking, I hope it doesn't skip. Please don't skip, because that'd be the worst. That'd be the worst thing for me, to hear my son, for my track to come onto his playlist, and for him to just go, nah, and go on to the next one. But I'm glad for 3 monthly listeners every month, and going back to wanting more listeners and more people to listen to the music, and the music being for myself. As long as those 3 like it, I'm happy.
You've got yourself in a good position with your day job, so you're not relying on the music, and whatever happens, happens. So that gives you, in my eye, that gives you a lot of power to just be the freest artist you can ever be.
Definitely.
You know, and that's a position that a lot of people don't get to. So big up for getting there. What about your third choice of tracks?
That's quite a deep one. A God I Don't Believe In. The track's called A God I Don't Believe In. It's just, I'm not a religious person. But I've been through some serious mental health struggles, PTSD, things along those lines. And I've been laid in bed at times thinking I'm dying. Anxiety, heart's beating out of my chest. And in my brain, I'm going. And at that point, I turn into a religious man. And that's kind of what the song's about. It's in the chorus, the line is, I'm laying here staring at the ceiling, praying to a God I don't believe in. And it's kind of like just talking through that struggle with mental health. And again, being transparent, being open, and sharing my experiences is something that I like hearing in other people's music, and will make me listen. And I think, oh, okay. So with that, I was thinking kind of, let's get that out to other people. Let's put that on a track, even if I felt uncomfortable doing it. I wrote it the day that I came back from hospital. I was at work. All of a sudden, I felt a crazy heart rhythm in my chest. I just left work. I was in A&E, hooked up to the machines. I thought I was having a heart attack. They sent me home. There's nothing wrong. Anxiety, things like that. And I got home, I just started writing. And the first line in the track is, last night I posted a couple pictures when I was smiling. The night before I'd put 3 pictures up with my sons and we were all hugging and smiling and whatever else. And that was just the night before. But then the next day I was crippled. I got home from A&E, I was laid in bed, I was drained. But I just thought, right, this is how I'm gonna try and overcome it and put everything into that track. That features an artist called Amy Palmer. She's from Brighton. I heard her music and I just thought, right, we had the hook there that I'd written myself and sang myself, but it was like, right, I can't do that. But she had the perfect voice. She's from Brighton. Obviously, Scissors is from Brighton as well. So when we're recording the album, we're doing it in Brighton, and we got her involved. And she's just put the cherry on the cake. And it's for the people that I've played the album for. That's the track that they say that's their favourite track. And again, I believe it's because it comes from the heart.
I myself have listened to all 3 tracks that obviously you sent them to me. And I was trying to pick holes in it, and I just couldn't. You know, like, I'm picky about my music. And sometimes I hear music and I kind of think, okay, it's maybe not got the kind of energy I like. But then it depends on what the rapper does or what the vocalist does. And you delivered all of that, in my eyes, to perfection. How do you feel about the whole project?
I love it. I've spoke to Scissors as well. He loves it. And it's one of those things where, like I say, some of these tracks have been 5 years in the making. The first versions of them were 5 years ago. So to be here now, listening to them as they're brand new, I've never done that before. It's always been a case of, if I have a rough version, I play it and play it and play it. I like it for a little bit. When it's time to coming out, I think, oh, I'm ready for the next one. But these, for me, have stood the test of time. And like I say, I'm my own harshest critic, so I'm enjoying it. The producer's enjoying it. I think it's just time for us to get into this new world of social media and
Get the world to enjoy it.
Get the world to enjoy it. I would even though it's for myself, I would love people to hear it. I would love to hear people's thoughts on it and improve for the next one. It's open to criticism, and I don't take anything personally. So it's ready. It's good to go.
Do you want to tell people when the album is out?
The album is out now on all streaming platforms.
Any videos?
Plenty of videos. The video for Horns and Halos came out last month. Again, there's probably 3 or 4 more videos to come. There's going to be some live sessions, live musicians. We've picked 3 tracks that are going to be played with live musicians. So more videos of those are going to come out.
So you're going all out?
I'm trying. I've put a lot of time. I've put a lot of time into this, as well as other people's time has gone into it. And for the way that I think it is and how I feel about it, I think it deserves it, and I love it. I love doing this, so it is. I'm gonna put that effort in. Yeah.
So I'm guessing all your information is going to be on your socials. Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, Benji Baker Music, pretty much on everything. If you need to find me, Benji Baker Music, at Benji Baker Music. Yeah.
All right, you heard it right here, guys. Thank you very much for coming through.
Appreciate you, Blade.
Yeah, good luck with the project.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.